Chris the Nightmare Ariola, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? Now, this was a very, very odd fight, man. I just got done watching. I watched it twice. Parker gets the job done, so, that prediction was right. I knew he would stop Dimitrenko. I just didn't know which round, but I just knew a stoppage would happen. I always thought that the hand speed was going to catch up with Dimitrenko sooner or later in the fight. Before I get to the actual fight, Kevin Berry wanted Parker, I know during their training camp, he wanted Parker to work to Dimitrenko's body. And really, they're working on doubling and tripling up the jab. I did see him using his jab, doubling and tripling it up. But it just seemed like every time he hit Dimitrenko with anything, to his head and his jaw, his face, it looked like it was hurting Dimitrenko. Dimitrenko really seemed too willing to just always go to the canvas, whether they were in a clinch. Just seems like Joe was the more powerful individual, although Dimitrenko is the bigger guy with the height and the reach and the weight advantage. He just seemed like the weaker of the two as far as physicality goes. Like seems as if whenever they both clashed or they were in the trenches or tangled up, Dimitrenko was always the one that was going down. His legs looked pretty weak. You could tell that he was being affected by Joe's punches, man. So Joe knocked him down in the first. He knocked him down twice in the second. And then in the third round, again, they were kind of clinched a little bit. Joe hit him to the body with a right hand. Dimitrenko had his arm over Joe's neck, trying to hold him. And then Joe hit him with a right hand to the body. That made him go down to a knee. Then when he was on his knee, Joe hit him with another right hand to the body, but the ref was on the other side. So maybe he didn't see it, but Joe did hit him when he was down. And then Dimitrenko started flopping around like a fish out of water. It was like when Roy fought Virgil Hill, man. The dude was just flopping around, man. He looked, like he just couldn't breathe. He got hit with a good shot to the ribs. So I guess if you want to say, it's controversial that Joe did hit him when he was down. But with that said, though, Dimitrenko was going to get knocked out, man. I really think he was going to get knocked out. It seemed as if he was throwing this combination in reverse. Usually when you go to a gym, not all the time, of course you can mix up combinations, but usually when you throw a straight right hand, you finish it off with the left hook. Joe was doing a reverse. He was throwing the left hook and then the straight right hand down the middle, and it kept catching Dimitrenko flush, man. And he was getting buzzed by that punch, by that 2-punch combination. So Joe's that little short straight right hand was working perfect after his left hook tonight. Dimitrenko was doing, when he would jab, but then he kept making a mistake of keeping his jab hand out there too long, and then he'll keep it out there, and then he would try to wrap Joe around the neck and bring him in the clinch. And when he was doing that, Joe would just shoot right down the middle with punches, man, and that kept working on Dimitrenko too, backing him up. And that was another thing that I noticed. Dimitrenko was getting backed up, and to me it's like he couldn't get backed up in this fight. He had to use his reach advantage, use that jab, and at the very least make Joe respect him by just standing his ground and not backing up. But once I saw him getting backed up a little bit, I knew it was gonna be downhill. And then it's kind of a double-edged sword, because then you don't really want to walk down a puncher. Joe is a good puncher. And they always tell you, don't, be careful when you walk down a puncher. And Dimitrenko's right hand, the delivery of it was just way too slow. Joe saw it coming a million miles away. Just a little bit too slow. Dimitrenko is wasn't going to, like I said, wasn't going to be a necessary walk in the park as far as opposition, but things just showed tonight. He was just too slow. He couldn't get his right hand is probably one of his better power punches. He couldn't land it because it was so damn slow. He landed a few times, but for the most part, Joe seen it coming. He was able to brace the punch or just completely get out of the way of it. I really didn't get to see the body work. Maybe I need to watch the fight again. I watched it twice, but it's not like Joe's going to turn into this committed body puncher. He's a very fast puncher, especially when he's throwing punches to the head of his opponent. So I really didn't get to see the body work, late into the fight, because it only went 3 rounds. But I know people are going to say it's controversy, hit him when he was down, but really though, man, Dimitrenko was just it seemed every time he got hit flush, his legs were doing a little dance. I remember watching old HBO commentary, and I remember Emmanuel Stewart would always say, he would always second guess a guy if he was so willing to always go down to the canvas. Whether he got pushed or whether when they get in the trenches, it's always him that's going down to a knee or just any part of your body touching the canvas all the time. You start to not question that he's not trying to win, but just his confidence in the ring. And it just seemed like once Dimitrenko started to feel that power, man, he was just like too willing to just hit the canvas, and Joe took advantage of it. And I do think Joe was going to stop him regardless. Dimitrenko went down off the first body shot. You know what I mean? And then when he was on the canvas, he got hit with another body shot. So yes, I did see some body work, but I'm talking about putting combinations together, going to Dimitrenko's body, some of the things that Joe and his camp worked on. But he did what he had to do. I mean, I'm critiquing a little bit here, but he fought a good fight, did what he had to do, didn't seem hurt, didn't seem phased or buzzed during the whole fight. Head movement was a little bit better, but I think that attributes to Dimitrenko's right hand being hella slow tonight. His jab, Joe was staying out of the range of Dimitrenko's jab. The reach really didn't have no effect for Dimitrenko tonight. Joe was moving, and he just made Dimitrenko seem very slow. And Dimitrenko isn't even though he's a big guy, he isn't going to be fast as a welterweight, obviously, but he's pretty quick for his size, I guess, for being 6'8", 250, you know what I mean? But Joe's just a better fighter, and he showed it tonight. So I guess we're going to sit and wait and see what's going to go on. Is he going to fight Joshua November 26th? Is Joshua going to fight Klitschko? I've seen some stuff on Tyson Fury, some articles today, so need to see what's going on with that. Then they're talking about possibly fighting Andrew Ruiz if the WBO decides to strip Fury. And they're talking about Andrew Ruiz Jr. versus JP next summer for that WBO title is going to be vacant. Ruiz and his side, I seen an article that they said that they're all with it. Hey, they want the fight. Some fans are saying, no, JP shouldn't do this. He's trying to take an easy route to a title. I mean, if you want to, I think the tougher fight obviously would be against Joshua. But styles make fights, Styles, they do make fights. So I think it'd be an entertaining fight between Ruiz and Ruiz and Parker. I think these are two of the quicker-handed guys at the division. If I had to pick three guys as far as just hand speed, not talking about power, but just hand speed, Ruiz and Parker would definitely be in my top three right now, current heavyweights as far as hand speed goes. So both undefeated. They're both going to come to win. I think Ruiz will give a way better effort than Dimitrenko did tonight, but JP did what he had to do. Like I said, there's going to be some controversy, but really, man, he was going to get Dimitrenko out of there regardless, but he did hit him when he was down, but he did what he had to do, man. Dimitrenko was not going to win this fight. Just my opinion on the fight. Curious to hear yours. I'm out.